Hello my friends, this is Miss T and I'm back again with another video. This one was requested by Incognito Fade and they wanted me to talk about Black Lives Matter and the neutrality of the Jehovah's Witnesses. So we're going to get into that today. And before I do, I want to ask you to subscribe to my channel, like, comment, and share. Hit that notification bell so when I bring out videos, you will be notified about what's coming up next. Um, and I also want to thank those who subscribe to the channel. Also, thank you for the comments. And if you do have any future requests that you want me to talk about when it comes to Jehovah's Witnesses, do let me know and I will do that. So now we're going to get into social issues and Jehovah's Witnesses and what their stance is on it. Okay. Um, First of all, it reminded me of a story, something that happened to me when I was studying when I was younger. Now, it was around January, Martin Luther King Day, and I saw this documentary on TV about Martin Luther King. And at this time, I was studying with the Jehovah's Witnesses. And after I saw the documentary, I was feeling really sad, because I'm like, wow, this man took time away from his family and everything that he did in order to, you know, protest, fight for civil rights among black people at that time. And, he ended up getting killed fighting for what he believed in. And so when I had my study with this sister, I asked her, I said, well, um, what do you think about Martin Luther King? Do you think that he would be resurrected for all that he's done? And the sister looked at me and she told me, she said, well, let's think about it. Did he serve Jehovah? Did he love Jehovah? And I was like, okay, well, I was thinking to myself, I never, you know, I don't think he did serve Jehovah, so I guess he wouldn't be resurrected or, have that life in paradise. I don't know, and I was like, wow, okay. Well, from that, and, back then I can understand because when it comes to social issues and, Jehovah Witnesses taking a stand for something, they're not going to fight for the world, or man's system of things. They're going to obey the government and their laws, pay Caesar's things to Caesar. They're going to do what is expected of them and cooperate with, whatever the government laws and rules are. When it comes to protesting and trying to make a change, they're not going to get into all that. They're pretty much out there preaching for um, God's new system to come. They look forward to the paradise, the new earth. You know, those are the things that they stand for. So politics and religion really are not supposed to mix. According to what they believe. You don't mix religion and politics is something that they're really not going to be um, supporting, I should say. So that's pretty much where what their stand is on fighting for social issues. If you see, any gun violence. Oh, this is another story. So this is a great example of what their feelings are. I knew a sister years ago. Her granddaughter was accidentally shot to death. And, it was very sad. Kid was only probably like 2 or 3, at somebody's house, sitting on a couch, and a gun went off. Someone hid their gun underneath the pillows of the couch. And the person wasn't a Jehovah's Witness who hid their gun, but the kid just happened to be over there with the mother, visiting. So the sister, this is actually the sister that I knew, her granddaughter. This happened to her granddaughter. Well, of course, it was in the news, and she was interviewed. People were coming at her like the ones who were against gun violence and all that stuff, and she was pretty much protesting that people shouldn't have a gun, whatever, just no guns. Guns can kill, guns can harm us. She was just pretty much showing her stance on how she felt about gun violence, and it kind of, I guess it was looking as if she was protesting against gun violence and even people having guns in the home, of that nature, whatever. So when I talked to, she had told me that the brothers had told her that she should stop doing what she's doing because she can end up getting disfellowshipped for that. And it was like, wow, this is a devastating situation where this sister lost her granddaughter because, it was a gun accident, but she's pretty much making a stance how guns shouldn't really be, you know, I don't want, I'm just going to say like placed in the house around where children can get to them or whatever. Gun safety, not gun safety, but pretty much get rid of the guns. We don't need all this gun violence or whatever. That's just what I'm going to say on the matter. So pretty much protesting against having guns and, in places in your homes where children can get to. So she had to stop, talking about it because of what the end results can be as far as her, serving Jehovah. She could get disfellowship for her actions. What was, well, when I was in it, I'm going to say what we believed when I was in it at the time. We didn't support anything worldly, the government or anything. We just showed them respect by paying our taxes, by following whatever rules and laws at that time. They're not going to get involved in any other, social injustice or protests or whatever's going on, Black Lives Matter and all that stuff. They're not going to get involved with that because that has nothing to do with what they're actually fighting for and speaking on and preaching about God's kingdom coming and this earth changing into a paradise, and we living forever in paradise earth where there's peace and security, and you won't have to worry about all those things happening. You just keep keep relying on Jehovah to make those changes. And as I've grown and gotten older, and yes, I do claim a political party now. I'm a member of a political party, and I do vote on certain issues and whatnot. But I had to realize, when the sister had made that comment about Martin Luther King and did he serve Jehovah, it's like, wow, all these people are out here fighting for us to have changes. We should respect that. They're losing their lives. They're losing time with their families. They're taking away time from, what they love, as far as, Martin Luther King was a preacher, preaching to his church. He took time away from that to go around here marching and, fighting for civil rights amongst all black people. And so any of our black political leaders or our civil rights activists who has done these things in the past, we should show them respect, of course. Because say for instance, nobody ever stood up for our human rights, we would probably still be, black people will probably still be slaves. And we're just living on and just going on about our lives, just waiting on the Lord to make changes, you know. And sometimes it takes someone speaking out about that issue, people protesting in order to make change, because our lives wasn't meant to be lived where we're going to walk down the street and get killed one day. You know, we're going to be enslaved for the rest of our lives, and you know, all the other injustices that are going on. We were meant to be on this earth and to be able to live our lives as happy, you know, and feel secure as possible when we walk down the street. We shouldn't always have to look over our shoulders or worry about people, you know. But sadly, that's the world that we do live in. And I'm thankful for the people who were out there that took time away from their busy lives and their families and things that they love to do in order to fight for my rights and the rights of others, you know. So I try to be out there and help the community when I can, to do what I can. But you have to understand that with Jehovah's Witnesses, they only fight for God's kingdom and God's promise that he's going to bring to mankind, to the earth. A new paradise, as I mentioned before. Resurrect our loved ones from the dead, and they will also be a part of that paradise. Where, you know, they're looking for the new system to come. So they're always going to trust and rely on Jehovah to provide them with the things that they need. And they're going to show respect for the government, whatever their laws and rules are. And that's just how they're going to stand on it, you know. Any changes that go on, people who are out there protesting and fighting, if they do, you know, have any changes with civil rights and all that, of course, they're going to benefit from it as well, because they're citizens, you know. But you're not going to see them out there fighting for it. They're going to remain neutral, and they're going to do what they're supposed to do and not really even speak on it, you know. And if a person, you know, if people are so into their religion to that point where that's what they believe in and that's what they're going to do, well, you know, you're going to have to respect that. You can't make them change. I know every time voting comes around, I always hear, you know, people will ask Jehovah's Witnesses, like, this was like a while back when I heard this, well, why aren't you voting? You know, your vote matters, your vote counts, and this and that. And they say, well, I vote for God's kingdom. Well, you can't judge them on that. They're going to vote for God's kingdom. That's their choice, you know. And if it doesn't fit you as a witness, if you are in the organization, then, you know, you have to make your changes and come out of it and do what you need to do in order to, you know, fight for what you need to fight for. So, Incognito Fade, I hope that answers your questions on the neutrality of the Jehovah's Witnesses and their stance on Black Lives Matter. And if anybody else have any requests, please suggest them, and I'll do my best to answer them as much as I can. So I thank you all for taking the time out to watch this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe, like, and do comment. And have a good day. I'm Miss T.